Hey, what's up, Life Masters? This is Stephen James from Project Life Mastery. Today I'm going to share with you how to invest your money in your 20s so that you can become rich in your 30s and set up the rest of your life to win. I'm going to share with you three different categories, three different areas on where I believe that you can get the greatest return on where to put your money that will pay off in your future. Now, before I go into this, you got to understand the mindset and the psychology. Most people in their 20s, most people when they're young, they're just living for today. They're living for the now and the moment. And they're not really thinking far ahead. And that's a big mistake. Because right now in your 20s, you have the opportunity to lay the foundation and to make key decisions that can benefit your future self, that you could massively benefit from in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond that. And no matter where you're starting from right now, you might be 18 years old watching this, you might be 25, 30, 40 years old. It doesn't matter. This mindset, this psychology is going to apply to you either way. So you got to think long-term in your life. A lot of your friends, a lot of your environment, a lot of people that you know, they're probably, on the weekend, they're spending their money, they're going out partying, they're spending it on alcohol, they're spending it on clothes, they're spending it on things that momentarily provides a short-term benefit, but is not building up their long-term future. So that shift in mindset psychology is going to give you that ability to invest. And even though right now you're paying a price or sacrificing for that, you're going to be in a position that you have to trust 10, 20, 30 years from now that those same friends that are just spending their money partying, they're not thinking ahead, you're going to have a much higher quality of life than they will have, okay? And especially at that stage of your life when you have more responsibility, you might have kids, you might have a family, you might have more of that going on, that you got to think ahead for that, even for your retirement. My first investment was when I was 18 years old, and I started thinking at that age of my life how I can invest my money, and I was willing to make those sacrifices, and that's what set myself up to now be in my 30s to be where I'm at today, but also more than that, I'm always thinking long term, okay? So that's an important mindset. The next thing before we dive into this is before you have money to invest, you've got to save money, okay? You've got to make sure that you have a cushion. I always recommend that you save and put aside at least 3 to 6 months of whatever your expenses would be, or even your income. Put that aside into a bank account. Okay, that's money that you don't touch. That's money for an emergency, a rainy day, or for an incredible opportunity that might come up that you now have the money to be able to invest or spend it or use it in whatever way that you want. The worst position to be in is when there's incredible opportunities that show up in your life that can transform and change your life, but you don't have the money to participate in it. If there was a recession or a depression or something that happened in the real estate market or something that could give you the opportunity to take advantage of it to set up yourself even further ahead than what you normally could do, you want to make sure you have the money put aside for that. Or even if there's an emergency in your business, your career, a medical expense, who knows what it is? Maybe you lose your job. There's things like that that can happen that we got to make sure that we anticipate that so that we can be proactive and make sure that we're prepared for it and we don't suffer from those moments when they show up. So always make sure that you put aside some money, you have it saved, you don't touch it. That's always going to be your level of security and protection. To do that, obviously to invest and actually participate in this, you got to make sure that you're spending less than you earn. Okay? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're spending whatever you make, you're not going to have the positive cash flow and the money to actually invest. You're going to be in the rat race where every day, every week, every month, every year is the same. You're not really getting ahead. Okay, I want to make sure that you get out of the rat race, you get to the fast track. The only way you can do that is you got to make sure that you manage your money, put money aside, spend less than you earn, and have money available so that you can actually do what I'm going to share with you, which is the fast track to getting to where you want to be. Okay, so let's say you have some money. My answers might surprise you a little bit. You might think, well, you've got $1,000 or 10 grand, whatever that amount might be. You might think, maybe I should invest that into a stock, or maybe I should buy property, real estate. Those are often the things that society tells us that we should buy and invest in. But if you think about it, that's actually not the best place to start investing. If you take $1,000, okay, let's say you got $1,000, and let's say that you put that into a stock. Let's say that you buy Amazon, and Amazon in 1 year, let's say they go up quite a bit. Let's say it goes up by 20%, right? Which is an incredible return on an investment like that. Well, that's a $200 profit, right? Now you got $1,200 from that. So you might be thinking, well, that's pretty great. You know, I invested $1,000, I made $200 in a year, but really, is that going to change your life? Is an extra $200 really going to move the needle that much? Even a 20% return on that, which is an incredible return? No, it's not really going to change your life that much. So just investing in stocks and real estate, it's not going to really move the needle that much. I mean, not unless you're going after really risky stocks or you have a lot of money to invest. It's not going to change your life that much. Investing most often is a long-term process and journey, and the number one goal is to not lose money. It's to protect the money that you have. So before I'd even consider investing in stocks or real estate, let me share with you what I believe that you should invest in instead. The first piece, the first category in the foundation is to invest in you. You, because you got to understand that you are the ultimate resource of your life. You are the one that is going to change your life. You are the one that's going to determine your success. It's not Amazon, it's not some other stock, it's not some other person, it is you. And you've got to believe in yourself and value yourself enough that you're worthy of investing your money into yourself so that you could be the best person that you can be. So when I talk about investing in you, what I'm talking about is investing in your knowledge, your mindset, your skill sets, your experiences, your abilities, becoming a better version of yourself. If this was a video game and you're level 1 right now, you want to figure out how you can get to level 10, level 20, level 50, level 100. You want to always be upgrading yourself. Because the more that you upgrade yourself, it's going to affect every other area of your life. You're always going to get the greatest return on your time, your money, by investing it in you than you ever will from investing it in a stock or a business or real estate or a cryptocurrency or whatever that might be. Okay? Now, what specifically do you invest in for yourself? Well, this all depends on the life that you want. You got to know what you want out of life. What is your vision? What is the dream that you have? Who is the person that you want to be? You got to get crystal clear on that and then figure out what do you need to learn, know, develop, cultivate in order for you to be that, to create the life you want. Okay? So I'll give you some examples from my life. For me, one thing that I invested in very early on that have been invaluable for me have been my social skills and my confidence. You see, I was really shy when I was in high school. I felt that I was behind everyone else socially and with my confidence. All the other kids, they'd go to parties, they had friends, they did things that at that stage of your life, you really develop your social skills and confidence. I didn't have that. I spent way too many hours in front of the computer, in front of the TV, playing video games. So I knew that I was behind here. And I knew that social skills and confidence, those are skills that will benefit the rest of your life. They'll benefit your career, they'll benefit your business, they'll benefit your finances, they'll benefit your relationships, they'll benefit your friendships, your family life. Everything will benefit from that. So for me, when I was 17 years old, 18 years old, I put money and time into learning this. I bought books. The first ebook that I ever bought was called Double Your Dating by David D'Angelo. Right? It's all about dating and everything and improving your social skills and confidence with the opposite sex. For me, I was willing to invest in that. The first seminar I went to, I was 18 years old. It was by Zan Perrion, who's a friend and mentor of mine. And it was all on dating and relationships and confidence. And it was $500. And I was willing to put the money into that because I knew that would pay dividends in my future. It'd set myself up. The skills that I learned here would help me later in my life. You know, Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world, shared the best investment you can make is not in stock or real estate, but it's in you. And Warren Buffett, he invested in a Dale Carnegie public speaking class, and he's always said that was the best investment he ever made in learning public speaking. So for me, I did the same. I joined Toastmasters, which is like a public speaking group. I remember I'd go to the Vancouver School Board. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. They used to have these evening classes and workshops. And I invested in one called Acting for the Terrified because I was so shy and terrified. I decided I was going to invest some money to go to acting classes just to push my comfort zone, right? Just to get out of my shell. I remember I did improv classes. I signed up for like an 8-week improv class thing to learn that. I remember I used to have a huge lisp and I used to mumble a lot. So I hired a speech pathologist to help me with that. There's all these things that I did. I invested in books and reading books on social skills and confidence and learning about psychology and mindset. right? So those are all the things that I did. But social skills and confidence, you can't go wrong. For me, I had a lot of pain when I was younger too, around being bullied and just not having confidence, that for me, I was motivated to put time and money into that. So really the answer for you is, what should you invest in? It's based on what you want, but also what are right now in your life the pain points, the struggles that you're going through. What are your problems and challenges? If right now maybe your problem is, maybe you struggle with being overweight. Well, the great thing is there's other people that have also been overweight that solved that problem. Okay, that problem's been solved many times over. There's many solutions out there that you can hire someone else. You can hire a personal trainer, a coach, you can invest in a fitness program, you can read books on it. But there's other people that have solved that you can model and learn from to help you solve that problem, that what you're going through. If right now your struggle is money, then invest in learning about money, learn about finances, learn about investing. Learn about budgeting your money. Maybe it's depression, that's what you're struggling with. Read books on depression, get counseling or therapy, get resources that can help you with that. Maybe you struggle with taking action, you struggle with laziness. Well, there's programs, there's books, there's courses. One of them is the 100-Day Challenge. There's things like that that can help you with that. I've got programs that can help you with that. So whatever you're struggling with, whatever's holding you back in your life, your problems and challenges, invest in solving those. And I'm still doing that to this day. I remember a number of years ago, I had a binge eating disorder. Very painful to go through that. I was doing fitness competitions and restricting myself way too much, and I had that disorder. So I invested in coaches and books and resources, anything that can help me solve that problem. So invest in that. Things that I believe that are worthwhile: social skills, confidence. I think relationships is valuable, because you got to think about it. 1 in 2 marriages end in divorce, and you want to make sure that you avoid going through that. The most important decision you ever make in your life is who to spend your life with. So you got to make sure you learn about relationships to make one work and successful, because you're going to spend your life in one, right? And you got to make sure you learn how to attract the right one, which is the most important decision that you make. So learning and developing those areas of your life. I also think, learning about emotions and self-esteem. Learning about those things, do you not think that's going to help you in your career, in your business, make more money? Do you not think your self-esteem and your confidence and all these things, your emotions, are going to help you invest in stocks and real estate and just make the right decisions in your life? Absolutely. So those are incredibly important to invest in. I think also your health, learning about health and fitness, and obviously that's going to extend the quality of your life, how long that you live. But there's so many things. But invest in your internal mindset, your skills even. Like valuable skills I see are like sales and marketing and negotiation. Those are all great skills to learn. So by you working on this area first and foremost, right, really investing in it, building it, cultivating it, the rest of your life is going to be so much easier. Okay, regardless of the amounts that look in your bank account, but your life will be so much easier by building this foundation. And this is also what's going to determine whether or not everything else works. Because if you don't work, your career, your business, your relationship, nothing else works. Starts with you. So be the best version of yourself, okay? The next thing, once you've invested some money there, this is the number one priority, I'd say. The next thing I'd say would be your career or business. Your career or business. See, you got to get clear on what you want to do with your life. What is your dream job? What is your dream business? What is your dream life? How do you want your life to be? See, all of us, we're going to spend 1/3 of our life working. 1/3 of our life working in a job for someone else, or 1/3 of our life maybe working and running our own business. And you've got to invest in that. Okay, you've got to invest in your career, invest in your business. Now, whether or not you have a career, you go to university, you get a job, or you start a business is based on what you want. What do you want? Okay, do you want to be a great engineer, a doctor, professional athlete? What is that? Do you want to be a teacher? What is that for you that excites you? Okay, if that's the path you want to take, you want to be a doctor, let's say, or a lawyer, then invest in your career. Go to the best school, invest in your classes, your tuition, the books, the things that you need in order for you to be able to achieve that ultimate dream job that you want to have. Now, if you want to start a business, it'd be a similar thing. You got to invest in you because you are the one that's going to make your business work and run. And of course, you is going to make the difference in your career as well. But your business, there's certain things you're going to have to learn, such as marketing and how to run a business, how to start a business. There's knowledge and skills that you're going to need that you're going to have to invest in. But beyond that, if you have a certain amount of money, let's say we take the $1,000 and let's say you want to start a business doing affiliate marketing. Okay, you want to be an affiliate marketer similar to myself and build a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast, and you have $1,000. Now, with $1,000, there's a lot that you could put that into to really start and grow your business, where you can get a greater than 20% return. You can make a lot more out of $1,000 than $200. So, for example, an affiliate marketing business where you promote other people's products and you earn a commission from that, maybe you could put that $1,000 into creating an awesome blog or website. Now, do you not think by having an awesome blog or website, by hiring a developer or designer to create an awesome website for you, do you not think that website can then make you more than 20%, more than $200? Absolutely. Or maybe you take that and you build some funnels, right? Maybe something like ClickFunnels, and you build a series of funnels where you could build an email list. You invest some of that money into software. Well, that can make you thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars if you set that up and you invest that money into that, into your business. Or with $1,000, maybe you decide, you know what, I'm going to invest this into Facebook ads. I'm going to learn Facebook ads. I'm going to invest some of this money into getting traffic, building a list, building an audience of people, right? You can get an incredible return on that. So I want you to understand you'll get a much greater return on your business or career financially because you have control over it. You have control over it and you can scale it and make as much money as you want from it, okay? So your business is incredibly important. You know, you could invest it into an Amazon business or a Shopify store, or you could invest that into publishing your own book and launch a book on Amazon and make money that way, right? And the great thing is you're also learning as you go. As you're putting this money into your business, you're also getting an education as well because you're learning what works and what doesn't work. And I've always said that experience is the best teacher. So you're going to gain a lot of great experience from that, okay? So this would be the next area of where I put my money. And I think even once you graduate from school, university, whatever it is, or in your business, you still got to be doing that. You always do these things. You know, it's sad how people, they go to school, and once they finish school, very seldom do people actually even read beyond that. Their education stops from that point forward. And self-education is a lifelong journey, I believe. You know, you always should be learning and growing. Okay, what's the next piece? The next piece after that would be stocks, real estate, or other investments like that, okay? So for me, that would be the last piece of what to invest in. And I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into each of these areas in my life, and guess which ones have brought me the biggest return? You got it, right here, and then here, and then here. So stocks and real estate, they're great to invest in, okay? They're great to buy. It's what you learn from all these books, it's what you learn from society that you should invest your money, stocks and real estate. You often can't go wrong with that, okay? But again, this isn't going to give you as much a return as these two other things, which are often not talked about as much. But when it comes to stocks and real estate, let's say you want to first start with stocks. I love investing in stocks, investing in other companies. I think the first thing that someone should invest in if they're going to go into the stock market would be investing in what is known as an index fund, okay, or an ETF, an exchange traded fund. And what this essentially is it's a fund that consists of multiple companies, okay, all within the fund. It's kind of like a mutual fund, but without all the fees and a manager that's actually stock picking and managing the fund in that way. So for example, an index fund would be the S&P 500, which is in the United States index of the 500 biggest companies within the United States economy, okay? So if you take $1,000, let's say, and you invest it in an index fund of the S&P 500, You're diversified, so it's very hard to lose that money, which is, again, the number one goal when you invest is to not lose the money, to protect the money that you've earned, and then over time to get upside and return of it, okay? This is not where you really get rich. You get rich here long term, but short term you get rich here, okay? Business is what's gonna allow you to get rich in the next few years, 3 years, 5 years. This often, not unless you're a full-time trader and you're a master at picking stocks, this most often will get you rich over 10 years plus, okay? This is more long-term, this is more short-term. So S&P 500, you put that into that, it's gonna mimic the market. So if the US economy goes down, then your stock goes down. If it goes up, then it goes up. Now, historically, it's always gone up. So as a long-term investment, even though in the next 10 years there could be a recession, if you don't sell it and you hold it long-term and you're in your 20s, then that's okay. In fact, you look at opportunities to buy stock when it's discounted, when it is down, because you're banking on it long-term, okay? So I would first start with an index fund in the S&P 500. Companies that I like to invest in would be Vanguard or iShares, okay? You can, if you live within the United States, Vanguard has a fund that you can go directly to, but they are traded also on the US markets, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, as well as in Canada on the Toronto Stock Exchange. In order to buy stocks, you're gonna need a brokerage account, okay? A brokerage account, which is usually free to set up, but they just take a commission every time you make a trade. So you could talk to your bank about a brokerage account or research within your country which brokerage accounts to use. When I was living in Canada, I used Royal Bank, RBC, direct investing, and I also used Scotia iTrade for the Bank of Nova Scotia. In the US, I use Interactive Brokers. So there's a variety of brokerage accounts out there that you can find and use. But I would start first with an index fund, okay? Now, real estate, you could obviously invest in real estate, but with real estate, obviously you have to manage it, you have to rent it, get tenants, you have to maintain it. There's more expenses involved. You might have to get a mortgage and borrow money depending on the interest rate. There's factors like that that can make it beneficial to buy real estate, but for most often real estate goes up long term. There's only so much land, and so it is a great investment. My first property I bought when I was 26, 27 years old, and it's been great, but I actually more prefer investing in stocks because they're easier to liquidate with more flexibility. I can get dividends from some of the stocks. And then also, for example, I could participate in owning real estate without actually having to own it. So for example, one thing you might want to consider would be something known as, let me put it up here, a REIT. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So for example, I own REITs or stocks on the market that own real estate. One of them would be Chartwell. Chartwell owns a lot of senior citizen housing all the real estate of that, and so I can benefit from that real estate market as the properties go up in value. Another one are stocks where they own commercial buildings, or they own shopping malls, or hotels, or casinos. They own the real estate from that, so I can participate in that, or even residential real estate. So I can easily sell the stock if I want to get out of it, and I can benefit from the growth of the real estate market. So a REIT could be a great option too. Otherwise, once you have an index fund, maybe even a REIT or some other index funds where you're more safe and diversified in that way, I always start with safe investments first to protect my money and be diversified. But beyond that, I would invest in stocks that you believe in. So as Warren Buffett says, you want to invest in what you know. So what are companies that you know? What are sectors or industries that you know? For me personally, because I have an online business and I teach and coach people in this area, I know a lot about business and marketing in this tech world that we're in. So companies that I invest in that I'm very familiar with, I use them every day, are Amazon, Facebook, Google, Shopify, and companies like that, right? Maybe even Alibaba, and but these are companies that I know, I use, I'm involved with, and so I believe in them and I see the future of these companies. And so I'm confident and comfortable to invest in them. So once you've got some of this, I would pick one or two of these to invest in, or maybe it's a bank stock. I invest in a lot of bank stocks, in Canada and also the US as well, such as TD Bank and Bank of Nova Scotia and Bank of America and Wells Fargo and Bank of Montreal and different stocks and banks that are fairly secure based on the country that you might be in. But in the US and Canada, banks are pretty secure there and everything. So, I mostly focus on large cap companies, large market cap companies and blue chip companies and stocks that are more secure because, again, I'm looking to grow long term here. I'm not looking to go after penny stocks and get rich from that unless you've got a strategy. But for the most part, that's kind of like gambling. But I put my energy and attention here. This is what is going to yield the money by putting it in here to allow me to invest more here. Okay, and this is what's going to bring the long term. This is actually going to bring more security than what we'll hear. This will bring you the ultimate security in your life because no matter what happens in your life, you always take you with you. You can never lose who you've become. Okay, you can lose your business and career, but you never lose who you are and what you've learned. And that gives you the ability to always recreate your success, your wealth, your money, value, whatever it is. So this is the most valuable on this one though. Career and business can change, right? At any moment you can get demoted, fired, your business, the internet can change. Who knows what could happen? And so that's why stocks and real estate, if you're investing in blue chip or index funds, then that provides more security, or real estate because that's going to stand the test of time and be around forever, right? So for me, my goal, when I started when I was in my 20s, my goal was to build a $10 million plus investment portfolio that would provide dividends and cash flow that would allow me to be financially free. That's the best form of passive income there is, okay? Business passive income can last for a few years, but can change. Facebook can change, Google can change, YouTube can change, Amazon can change. All those factors can change in 5 or 10 years. Real estate doesn't really change that much. And then these other companies and stocks, they're the ones adapting and changing, or if it's an index fund, you're diversified and safe from that. So that's the long-term approach of what I think about. But I always come back to this too, because there's a lot of things, we're talking about money here, but honestly guys, there's a lot greater returns that come here that aren't as measurable, that most people don't think about or focus on. I mean, your happiness, your emotional well-being, your confidence in your life, your relationships, your health, your energy, your spiritual well-being. These are things that I put money and time and invest into that doesn't really show the same way. It doesn't show up as numbers in a bank account, but it absolutely transforms your life and improves the quality of your life. And you can't forget that. Just because you can't measure it as much as numbers with money, don't forget to invest in these factors, because these are the factors that will create the life that you really want to live. Okay, guys? So listen, hopefully this is helpful for you. And if you want to learn more about me and get more content from me, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. So click on the subscribe button, hit thumbs up here. But if you want to learn more, let's say about a business that you want to build, that's what I specialize in. I mean, I've got courses and programs like the Life Master Accelerator and my Morning Ritual Mastery that can help you here with your confidence and your mindset and your work ethic and all that. That's what that's focused on, is self-development. So I'll link those below for you. But business-wise, I help people build an online business with affiliate marketing and Amazon and publishing and a variety of different ways. And I've got some courses and trainings that some that are free I'd love to share with you, and others that you could pay for if you want to go deeper with me. But I'll link to those below. But listen, I'd love to support you in your life and serve you. So if I can here through my channel, or I can through my products and courses, absolutely happy to do that for you. So thank you so much. Click the links below to learn more, or go to projectlifemastery.com, and I'll see you again in the next video.